Electric and battery systems are taking over the automotive industry, and they're poised to take over the RV industry as well. This week, we're talking with Jack Johnson from Volta Power Systems in our second half of our interview with him about the future of power systems in RVs and how it's here already. This is RV Miles. RV Miles is sponsored by LL Bean, dedicated to helping you experience all the benefits of time outside and stay more comfortable while you're out there. From soft and breathable activewear designed to do it all, to just right layers perfect for changing weather, to sun-smart clothing that blocks the sun's harmful rays. Every LL Bean product is made with comfortable time outside in mind. Visit llbean.com to shop now. LL Bean, be an outsider. Welcome to episode 190 of RV Miles. I'm Jason.
And I'm Abby, and we are two full-time travelers who, along with our boys, Jack, Ethan, and Henry, are crisscrossing North America on one epic road trip. Each week we talk all things RV and outdoors, from travel destinations to gear, industry news, our national parks, and a whole lot more.
Coming to you again from Chattanooga, Tennessee, in our final days here. A little secret, we recorded this episode at the same time as the last episode. We just went inside and changed our shirts.
Costume change.
And so if something crazy happens in the news over the course of the time we recorded this, and next week when it comes out, we won't be talking about it.
We are taking a 50% vacation. So we will be 50% available and 50% on vacation next week, which is the first time that we've taken a vacation. And I know you are probably laughing and going, oh, you're full-time RVers, you're on vacation every single day. That's 25% true.
It's not the first time, but it's the first time since the last time I remember us seriously doing this.
Yeah.
Was when we stayed at the Buffalo River for 1 week, like 3 or 4 years ago.
That was July of 2017.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I'm very excited to bring this second half of my interview with Jack Johnson from Volta Power Systems to you today. If you listen to last week's episode, you know he's just a great person, a really smart person who's really on the pulse of what's happening in the world of electrical power systems. In fact, he's one of the leaders leading the charge and really making some changes that are going to have us in RVs that are, you know, maybe they're not powered by electric engines anytime soon, but the entirely electric RV, meaning electric stove and oven and heating even, and battery-powered air conditioning, all that sort of stuff, it's here now. And it's now at the point where the systems just have to get more integrated have to get better and better, and have to get more affordable. But that technology is here, and Jack's going to talk to us about it and about the future of RVs and electrical systems. So I'm excited to bring that to you a little bit later. But let's start by talking about, as we often do, something that came up in the Facebook group. Lorna said, remember all those people who bought campers in 2020? They've also rented out every single storage lot.
Oh, no.
And Lorna is saying that they've been parking their 32-foot fifth wheel in the row they've rented for 14 years, and they park 2 vehicles at this specific storage area, and they're told that they can't come back because this storage lot has booked out without them reserving it. And they're like, well, thanks.
Wait, I don't know. So
they didn't have it booked yet for this year, but somebody else has taken it. And I've heard this from lots of people now, that lots of people that bought RVs over the course of the last year are trying to store them, and they're having a hard time finding places for storage. It's hard for us to remember. And I think a lot of people that keep their RVs, even if they're not full-timers like us, but maybe they keep their RVs at their house, a lot of people keep their RVs in storage and then go get them when they go out on a trip.
Yeah, it's not something we think often about, but I will say that this particular year, talking to my dad, he said to me, you know, if you guys are coming and you're coming with something bigger than what you have now, it can no longer be stored at our house. We should probably really seriously consider finding you guys a place, and we should do it sooner rather than later. So even my non-RVing dad was already like, good luck finding space and don't bring your 42-foot RV here because I can't keep it in my driveway. So, we're already thinking, well, what are we going to do with ours when we want to go and visit family for an extended period of time? Because gone are the days, I guess, now of being able to just grab a
I
spot for a few weeks.
this is something we haven't talked about yet
Nope.
together as a couple, but I think we're at the point where we're going to campgrounds and we're not
Camping.
moving out of our home when we're visiting family.
I don't know what part of camping in December in Illinois you think is going to happen.
Well, that part does seem a little crazy.
It
I was
does.
thinking about
It
July.
does. Yes. I'm already thinking about the holiday season. Maybe that just means that family gets to come to us somewhere warmer in the future.
Maybe,
Maybe.
maybe.
So yes, if this is something that you're going to need and you're going to need a storage unit, it may be that you're going to start paying for a storage unit even when you don't need it during the camping season. You might just have to book one of those yearly spaces and then just pay for it monthly.
Yeah.
That's a tough sell. Boy, you just can't get anything anywhere anymore if it has anything to do with an RV.
Here's another question that's been coming up quite a bit as people look to buy an RV. They're asking about, and Dina, I believe that's how she says her name, Dena, asked this in the group as well. Thoughts on outdoor kitchens and outdoor TVs? Do we have them? And what are they? And I've got some.
Do you have
I have
thoughts?
some thoughts.
Well, I'm
Look,
I'm so shocked.
here's the thing about both of those things is that they're really cool and a lot of people get a lot of use particularly out of the outdoor kitchen. I don't think as many people get as much use out of the outdoor TV as they think they will, but some people do. And before people get crazy about like, well, TVs
The
aren't for
game,
campgrounds
the
and stuff,
game.
but some campgrounds are sort of that style and it's
Hmm.
fine. Like I don't always want somebody next to me with the TV blaring, anything like that. But some campgrounds, it's just that atmosphere and it's fine.
Sure.
But kitchens are a different thing because I think a lot of people enjoy the fact that they don't have to heat up the inside of their RV, especially if they're like boondocking and
Yeah.
aren't able to run their air conditioner, then they can cook outside. And a lot of people like to do a lot of outdoor cooking when they're camping. But here's the thing to remember is that outdoor kitchens are always a trade-off. You're always losing something on the inside, and that's generally storage space or length. I mean, in order for them to put that outdoor kitchen in, they have to carve out room for it on the inside, which might mean they have to make your RV longer, or it might mean you're losing a really cool piece of storage inside, and that might not matter to you.
Something I was just thinking about though. So we say this a lot. Oh, you're going to lose space with your RV kitchen. But something I just thought about is yes, you're going to lose space if you have the RV kitchen. But the flip side to that, Jason, is that you and I lose space in our pass through because we carry around stuff to have an outdoor
That's
RV
that's
kitchen.
absolutely true. And you and you do gain space on the outside, right? When you have that
Yes.
outdoor kitchen, so you can put other things on the outside spot.
Yeah, so I think a lot of it
Yeah.
has to do when you consider this, whether or not you need more storage space inside, or perhaps you need more storage space for your outside toys and things like that. And if that is the case, and you really do want some kind of an outdoor kitchen, then maybe a built-in outdoor kitchen is the answer for you so you can utilize more of your storage space. For
Yes.
us, I mean, just a few things, the Blackstone and the Dynamite, that's a decent amount of space we give to our pass through.
The other thing too is that not all outdoor kitchens are built the same. In fact, they're all quite different. And
Nothing in the RV industry is built the same.
some of them are literally just we put this here in order to say
Yeah.
we have an outdoor kitchen because
Here's,
some people will not buy an RV without one.
here's a burner, and we're going to give you the world's tiniest little fridge that you're
If it
barely
even
going to,
has a
yeah, that
fridge.
you're barely going to be able to open. Look, we've all seen that Going RV episode, okay? Where they were like, I can't even get this like little mini cooler door open in this outdoor kitchen. So again, it's really about what kind
Hmm.
of kitchen you want, what kind of storage you want to lose, and the type of camper you desire to be.
The other thing I want to caution you about is when you're looking at outdoor kitchens, a lot of them are really high up. And if you're a shorter person, sometimes it's a challenge to get it. So
Yes.
I don't
Footstool.
I don't think a lot of people actually like the ones that you're cooking in the outdoor kitchen. It's like what's nice about the outdoor kitchens is it's a space to put like your grill utensils. It's a space for a fridge where you can put butter and stuff for working on the grill or the Blackstone, and a little sink where you can wash those utensils and stuff like that. But for
It
actually a cooking service, it's hard.
also bear in mind too that not all campsites are going to be created equal in regards to how you level out.
Yeah, because if that
So,
outdoor kitchen is all the way on the back of your RV and that thing's a steep slope, that could
yeah,
be way up in the air.
yes. So it does feel a little bit like they're making a bold statement with outdoor kitchens sometimes that they're for taller people, that only taller people cook outside, which we all know is not true. So that's something to consider. You can probably guess how we feel about an outdoor TV because we're not even bothering to talk about it.
Look, even if
I
you like an outdoor TV and you want an outdoor TV, I would never buy an RV based on that. That's a that's something that
I
you
don't
can make a
think
workaround for.
I don't think the cost
Yeah.
shakes out. I think what you pay for it to have that outdoor TV just it isn't worth it to me
hmm
personally.
Well, you could also, if you have just an outdoor kitchen, you could rig a small outdoor TV to be in that outdoor kitchen. There's
Sure.
lots of different things that you can come up with. Well,
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people put in an arm in their pass through that can pull out, but you know what? If we're watching TV outdoors, it's usually on a laptop, and that's good enough for us.
Yeah. There's only been one time that we've wanted an outdoor TV in 5 years.
Yeah. And I think they're cool. It's just not something that I would worry about when I'm making, this multi tens of thousands of dollar purchase. It's just it's a little feature on a really big thing, and a lot of things matter. I think to me a lot more, and I think they probably ought to for most people. Some people just have very specific things like I will not buy an RV without a glass shower door. We're never gonna do it, and if you're putting that drawing that line in the sand, but you,
I
make
don't
sure to
care.
check out the other things.
I know. I don't care. To each their own. Go and get what makes you happy.
All right, we're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll have the answer to last week's brain teaser. And we're going to have the rest of our interview with Jack Johnson from Volta Power Systems.
Be right back.
Electrical surge protection is one of the cheapest insurance policies you can provide for your RV. And the Power Watchdog Smart Surge Protector, made by Hughes Auto Formers, beats the competition with the field replaceable surge module. With other brands, when the surge protector takes a large surge or a spike, you have to throw it away. The Power Watchdog can be brought back to life with one small, affordable part you can replace yourself. It's the last surge protector you need to buy. Use the coupon code RVMiles, all one word, for 10% off your order at HughesAutoformers.com. That's code RVMiles for 10% off at HughesAutoformers.com. Outdoor enthusiasts of all stripes will enjoy Pelican gear on their adventures. Hard-sided Pelican Elite coolers are all made in America and are available in a wide number of sizes. Get a 20-quart for short day trips, a 50-quart for week-long adventures, or a wheeled 45-quart to keep the fun rolling along. Pelican backs all their hard-sided coolers with a lifetime warranty, too. RV Miles listeners can get a free Day Venture tumbler when they visit elitecooler.com/RVMiles and spend over $100. It's time for the answer to last week's brain teaser, which went like this. Glenn and Steve were taking turns driving on an RV trip to Boston and back. Glenn drove the first 40 miles and Steve drove the rest of the way to Boston. On the way back, Glenn started to drive and then Steve drove the last 50 miles. Which of the two drove more and how much did he drive? And the answer is that Steve drove 20 miles more than Glenn, no matter how far the trip to Boston was. You might think, because I didn't know the length of the trip, I don't know. But assume the trip to Boston is 60 miles. Glenn went 40 miles there and 10 miles back for 50 miles total. Steve would have gone 20 miles there and 50 miles back for 70 miles total. So Steve always drives 20 more miles. If you change the number of miles, you still get a 20-mile difference. We'll have a new brain teaser later on in the show. But now it's time for the rest of my interview with Jack Johnson from Volta Power Systems, talking about the future of RV power systems. Here's Jack. Talk to me about how Volta came to be and how you interface with the RV industry and all that.
Oh boy, that's fun stuff. Well, I'm a recovering automotive engineer. Those of you that have been in the automotive industry, you know what I'm talking about. The automotive industry is a very high-paced, very high-risk, high-volume marketplace. It's a tough business. I was a part of a major tier one company right out of school for 16 years. I did everything you think of: advanced composites, advanced material science, cost-saving activities, just fix things, make things, just did a little everything, and had a really great career running around doing amazing things. And in 2008-9 timeframe, there was a big push to electrify the automotive industry. It was right after the financial downturn. There's a bunch of grant dollars being put out there, and our company was Johnson Controls. It was one of the only U.S. companies to get part of the battery grant. And the mission was build a factory that could produce the next generation batteries for the automotive market. Nobody had done anything like that at the time. They gave us 11 months to design, build, and launch a $250 million project, shovel ready. We had to figure it out. We used some military-based technologies that are baseline, but we had to figure out how to scale it and make it air-proofed and perfect, ready to go in an automotive vehicle. And you talk about, I didn't sleep for a year. Built this facility here in Holland, Michigan, amazing technology. And we get it all done, and nobody's buying electric vehicles. Nobody wants it. And it's sitting there, $250 million in investment, amazing technology, no sales. And I got frustrated. I was just like, this is ridiculous. We spent all this money. A lot of it's taxpayer money. Some of it's my money. Why aren't we doing something with it? I went to my leadership and said, hey, why don't you let these crazy engineers figure out a way to utilize this technology and bring it into other markets and see if we can make a better business case. And it was called Project MacGyver. MacGyver was great, right? Come on, growing up those years.
Favorite shows.
It was the best show ever. Hey, let's make something out of a shoestring. Let's repurpose it. And so that's what we did. And we got together and we started MacGyvering this project. And we took a Prevost bus conversion, and we were able to get some local sponsorship there. They loaned us the bus as a partnership. We put all this tech in it. I mean, this is tech that was going in some of the latest EVs. We put it in a bus and then got rid of the generator and went out and toured the country in it and said, hey, what would you guys think if the customers didn't have to worry about a generator anymore? And gauged their attention, and they all liked it. And they're like, this is awesome. This would be wonderful. But it was too complex for our company to be able to support, because they're all like, even you think Winnebago or Thor, they're actually really small companies compared to the automotive world. Yeah. And they didn't know how to make it happen. And so I'm like, this is crazy. I got to do it. I just got to do it. So I'd left Johnson Controls with the crazy idea that they can't do it. And I'm sure a small company could figure it out. And so we took all of that knowledge, lessons learned, relationships, testing, all the things we've done over the years. And we said, okay, how do we put it in a package that's simple to use, simple to understand, and that can be used for our RV and industrial customers? And that's how Volta got started. It's focusing on, bringing that complex supply chain that costs billions of dollars to put on the ground and make it accessible for, Jasons of the world who want the advanced tech, right? How do I do it? And that's been the focus. That's how we got started.
How now are you working with the RV industry to implement better power systems, and what do those power systems entail?
Well, we do things a little differently. We don't sell to the public. We just can't. Our focus is business to business. So that's one thing that's different. We get a lot of requests. The market has been always, well, I can buy this and put it on, and I do it myself, and so we go against the grain there. We do that mainly to ensure customers have a great experience, and we can afford to do it, because the cost structure to teach, develop, execute a solution is not something just to slug off like, traditionally you could throw something in. So we partner with, the Winnebagos of the world, and say, hey, we'll help you integrate. So we send our engineers in, we walk through the design requirements. They say, okay, what's that experience they want to give to the customer? And then we will bake out that full power solution. That's everything from your AC power that runs your devices, your DC supply, your recharge solution, how it charges, solar, We even do auto starts, so we communicate back to the factory vehicle systems, and we do it as a package. So even the wiring harnesses, so they'll get a solution that's a full kit. Everything's been tested and validated, much like you would expect an automotive, great engine that would show up. If you're doing your hot rod, you expect the internals to have been built correctly. And then that allows our customers to be able to provide that level of technology in a very controlled, safe, economical way.
What are your current systems able to accomplish now? And where do you see electrical power systems moving towards in the next few years?
Well, what we do today is really enable a brand new experience to RV. I think that's the most fun. Is everybody had been limited to what they could do because they were limited on power. They always had to compromise power. And for example, on our B van customers, we'd have no more generators. We have customers that never have to plug in. They have 30 amps of shore power all the time, wherever they're at. And now they've cut the cord. They don't need to worry about finding a campground. They don't have to worry about where they stop. They don't have to worry about running out of power. And when you have that freedom, and one more thing you don't have to worry about, it just makes the experience so much better. I mean, that's what we do today. And we do systems up to 100 kilowatt hours. So think of the huge, big RVs, the top of the line. And they've got customers like, why do I have a generator anymore? They usually do hybrids just because they got all the bells and whistles. So that's what we do today. For the future, we align with the automotive industry. And so we are tapping right off of that $1 trillion of investment. I think the latest numbers I saw in the last 3 years is over 1.7 trillion in private money. It's going into research and new battery tech. We're tying in with them and letting them do the big work. And then we're bringing that technology in to our solutions. And what does that give you? That means more and more energy in a smaller space. That means cost keeps coming down. I haven't seen it here yet that as we keep improving our volumes and we get more acceptance, cost just keeps moving, just like you're seeing in the regular market. And then finally, I think you're going to see new devices showing up on RVs over the next few years. RVs that are, devices that you traditionally have in your home that you're used to. I think about, well, if you've ever been to Europe, you think about water heaters, they'll run 240 volts, right? And you get all this really great power very fast. Well, now all of a sudden you can put more energy on and more power on mobile vehicles than you can get from shore power. We actually have a customer today that they can't run their steam shower and everything else on shore power. So they unplug the coach so they can run everything. And I think you're going to see that over the next few years where all those limitations are going away and people's imaginations of what they can do next the human, strive to do something different, do something more. We'll see all sorts of new innovative things because power isn't the limitation anymore.
Things like electric water heaters, electric dryers, which have been a problem in RVs, electric heat, perhaps, that sort of stuff.
Yep. And I think also water reclamation. Why don't we do water reclamation today? It's really energy intensive, right? I mean, you got to have a lot of energy to properly refresh water. But what if you got systems that you got so much power that water can no longer be an issue when you're going off grid? I mean, I think there's tons of things that'll come out, just exciting things because we're just eliminating one more restriction.
I assume that your company in the RV space works the vast majority of the units that you're working on are motorhomes. 90% of RV owners own trailers, and and most of them obviously own pickup trucks. And the automotive industry is clearly moving towards more and more electric vehicles, and there's every manufacturer has electric trucks on the way. How do you see electric vehicles that are separate from the RV? Is there ways that they'll be able to interface better with a trailer, for instance?
In the next 10 years to 20 years with the technology, I know it's coming out, probably not. You could make them interface. The challenge will be is you're taking such a range hit. So when you think about energy density just from scale, right now, diesel fuel is 32 to 34 times more energy dense than the absolute best lithium ion that's on the market today that's coming out. There's some tech that's pushing that up, maybe only 20 times. But still, you think about, all right, if I'm 20 times, let's just say we're positive and technology's come a long way, so we're 20 times less energy dense. But I want to have the same range and performance. Where am I going to stick all of those batteries? And what am I giving up? I'm going to give up towing capacity. I'm going to give up range. And what's really interesting, a lot of people don't grasp, is the power demand setting still in most vehicles is more than the power demand to maintain the vehicle at 55 miles an hour. And for example, let's just take your rig. How many air conditioners you have on your trailer?
Just the one.
Just one. Okay, so you got a 15,000 BTU.
Yeah.
So on a hot day, it's probably pulling 1,800 watts continuously. Then your fridge is a couple hundred watts, and you start adding it up. You might have a base load of 3,000, 4,000 watts on a hot day, and you need that every hour, over an hour. That's going to be an exceptional amount of power. You would burn through, let's say you got a 50 kilowatt hour battery, which is a big battery pack on your car. You burn that through in a few hours, in 10 hours, on your base load. Well, then what are you going to do? I think that's going to be the challenge people are going to deal with. So basically what's going to happen is if you have an electric pull vehicle, you're going to go back to, you got to go find somewhere to charge. So you're going to be worried about infrastructure placement. You're going to be worried about where you go. And second, you're going to either have to add a lot of energy generation on your trailer or energy. So you're going to add large battery packs with large solar systems if you want to be off grid. So as a futurist in the next 20 years, I think there's going to be a balance where you're going to see those electric trucks fit certain niches, but fuel trucks taking a combination with advanced battery technology and good generation, that's going to give you that solution that people want for, I think what people really want for RV off the grid solutions.
What about the other way around? I assume that it's now possible for a motorhome owner that might want to tow behind them a small electric vehicle. Are we at the point where they can now charge off of solar systems?
Yeah. Actually, we actually a cool article your team could go look at. It's called Living Vehicles. It's out on the West Coast. We did it. It got in the Rob Report. Hit some really cool. I think we were in Motor Trend, something like that. There's some really cool articles that came out. And what we did there is we put, I want to say they put 40 or 50 kilowatt hours. I can't remember the number off the top of my head right now, of battery storage on board. They put roughly, I think it was 6,000 watts of solar. And then we decked it out with 240 volts. And they have a EV charger on board. And you can set out there and have enough energy stored plus enough power generation. You can charge your electric car. Obviously, that's a lot of tech in a little space. And it's really cool. I think you're going to see more of that in the future, but I think there will be the natural cost limitations to a lot of customers because that type of investment, you'd really want to be using that thing all the time to offset some of the financial impact of that type of system.
So what's next? What's next for Volta Power Systems? What are you guys working on? What's exciting coming up?
For us, we've got some really new features. So we've been learning our customers, right? We're, again, recovering automotive. When we first launched the company, we did our market reviews. It was all about simple. Like, I don't want multiple switches. I don't want monitors. So we went with one button and a simple gauge. That worked really well. We've definitely got that 70, 80% adoption rate with those users. But then there's that 20 to 30% of users that want more data. I mean, it's like, I want to see this. I want to see that. Can I see how much solar? Can I do this? And it's like, oh, okay. So we've been coming out with new controls, new display, more information. We're actually taking in and giving out the ability for some of our customers to add other devices on those displays. So really around communication, we've got a new version of our app coming out, device-to-device capability. So we're starting to go to the cloud, and now people can monitor their coaches from afar, farther away than our Bluetooth. We have some new inverter technology, higher efficiency tech. One of the things that's really been interesting is we took the generator away and we was able to drive costs back into the air conditioner. So people started making higher efficiency, wider air conditioning because the cost offset was there. So you see that improving in the marketplace. And then now we've had people saying, well, I can hear a fan. We have these fans on our DC converters doing things, and it's like 25 decibels. So it's a really quiet fan. And now we're like,
Hear my air conditioner.
so now we have created our own issue of now we've got to make it so we have no fans. So we've been developing more passive systems with cooling blocks on them, ambient or convection cooling blocks, so we can eliminate fans just so that customers won't hear anything at all.
Wow.
So those are just some of the cool projects we're working on that will be coming out. You'll see it in the market middle of this year.
Well, Jack Johnson with Volta Power Systems, this has been really eye-opening, and I really appreciate you coming on. Where can people go to find out more about Volta?
Well, I would recommend checking out our website at www.voltapowersystems.com, or for short, you can go to voltaps.com for short for Power Systems. Lots of good information. Our blogs are always update. There's also YouTube. We've got a lot of shorts coming out trying to help explain some of the mysteries of this technology. You'll find we really try to focus on education over just the sales story. Since we're not trying to sell directly to the consumer, we really focus on that. So it's a good place to do some learning.
We'll put a link to the website as well as all your social media in the description for this episode, and in the show notes on the website as well. Thanks so much for joining us, Jack. This has been really, really great.
Thanks, Jason. It was a lot of fun to be here. Thank you very much.
RV Repair Club is an online resource for those who want quality maintenance, repair, and upgrade information. Sign up for a premium membership with an exclusive offer for RV Miles listeners and get a full year of premium membership for only $3. That's 96% off the normal price. Visit go.rvrepairclub.com/RVmiles to sign up. You'll get access to hundreds of full-length instructional videos from RV experts. Sign up for RV Repair Club premium membership now for just $3 off for the entire year at go.rvrepairclub.com/RVmiles. As an RVer, you know how important it is to have a quality RV roadside assistance company on your side, like CoachNet. Imagine driving down a major highway and hearing an explosion. Immediate panic sets in as you realize you just had a high-speed blowout. Your nerves are shot, you're stressed, scared, and now stranded. When you have CoachNet, the first thing they ask when calling is, are you in a safe location? Showing a level of care that immediately puts you at ease. They send out a tow truck suited for your RV and tow you to a repair shop where you can catch your breath and finally relax. CoachNet has over 30 years of RV industry expertise, and their mission is to ensure that you enjoy a carefree RVing experience by getting you back on the road to making memories with your family and friends. For more information about CoachNet memberships, visit welcome.coachnet.com/RVmiles. And we'll have links to all of our advertisers in the show notes and in the description for this episode. You can find that in whatever app you're listening in, or you can find it on the YouTube description if you're watching that on YouTube as well. You can find all the information from all our sponsors, so you don't have to remember those long URLs. You can just go click on them.
Nope. And you can also go to rvmiles.com/190 for this episode, and it'll be there as well.
All right. It's time to check the level of our tanks. Abby, have you come up with a black tank yet?
I did. I did. Now, my black tank this week was actually my fresh tank, but I'm black tanking it because it could go either way.
Okay.
And my black tank this week is a black tank you should go and get. And it is a mocha mascarpone cheesecake from Aldi. And I'm black tanking it because it is so good. It's dangerously good that I have to look at it as a bad thing.
I don't even like cheesecake, and it's like a fudge wrapped cheesecake. Oh, it's so good.
Oh
so
my
good.
gosh, it's amazing. It tastes like tiramisu meets cheesecake, and they got together and had a baby.
And they went through like a donut enroving chocolate machine.
Yes, it's so good that delish.com has written an entire article about it just in the last few days because it is sweeping the cheesecake world.
Aldi cheesecake.
Y'all. It's Specialty Selected is the brand. It's $9. It's phenomenal. And I'm going to whisper this. We did not share this with our children. We have been eating this when they go to bed at night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good.
it's so good.
And
And
we've been a piece each, and we've
yes,
been doing it for a week
well,
now. And we have the last piece tonight.
we do. We have to because a serving is 430
Shut up.
calories. If you have been wondering, Jason, why
I've been
things
eating 430 calories every night for the last week
no,
for dessert.
I've
You've been giving me a half serving. That's what it's right. Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
I've been giving you a half serving. So that is my black/fresh for the week.
What's your fresh tank?
So my fresh tank this week actually goes out to all those new RV content creators out there because we're in a Facebook group that is dedicated to RV content creation. And I have just been really inspired and impressed by the people that are in this group, not only in the way that they want to work together as a community to learn from each other, to improve what we're doing, to share what they have found as a success or found as a failure. But I've also just been so inspired by their tenacity and their enthusiasm and their willingness to not give up and to continue to do something that they feel really strongly about. And I think it's really cool. I think that there is this shift now because we've talked about this in the past where when we first got into this, it felt very insular. And it was very hard for us coming from a theater background where you all work together as a community to create something to find so many of those doors just kind of shut. Nobody wanted to partner because that's seen as, oh, they're stealing my ideas. Don't tell them what we're doing because they're going to take what we're doing and make it their own. And I think what seems to be happening is that is shifting. And it's really, really lovely to see. And it fills my heart because it's just, this is a really wonderful lifestyle. And everyone should be welcome at the campfire and at the campsite.
I
And
know people think that everybody and their brother has a RV YouTube channel, and if you
well,
actually
maybe
go
they
look through
do.
them, though,
Who
it's not
cares?
true. And I think there needs to be some more fresh blood and stuff. And I think
There needs to be more
we
representation
should
for sure.
we should find some ways to highlight some of these newer channels. And it's not just YouTube. It's definitely it's Instagram and all, social media and podcasts and all of it.
Well, we ourselves are not so established in the sense that we can't learn and
Yeah.
continue to learn. And, that's another thing that I am excited about is the opportunity that I'm being given to learn from those who are just starting and are creating content that I think is fantastic. And I would encourage anyone who's not a content creator but enjoys the content to not weigh what you participate in based on the number of followers or subscribers that individual has. If that individual is just putting out something that's really fantastic, just because they may only have 120 subscribers, doesn't mean that they're not good. I think that it's really fun and exciting to see these new voices and to learn
Yeah,
from
and
them.
you know what we were kind of scared to do when we started. We wanted to sort of portray ourselves as knowing it a little bit more than we did when we started. And,
One of us did. I'm just
what?
I'm just teasing. Don't
No,
don't
and I think a lot of I
don't get
think
all bristly.
what I'm trying to get at here is I think a lot of these new content creators out there are just kind of showing their mistakes as they learn,
Yeah.
and that really helps us all learn, and I that's fantastic to me.
Well, I think too that we have learned and we have accepted that it's actually okay to not know everything and not be able to talk about everything. And it's also okay to be really human and to show all sides. Now, that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt when people get really nasty. I'll be the first to say the last 24 hours have been a little rough for me because I've gotten smacked with some pretty hurtful words. And I'm only human. Those words hurt. but there's also been things that surprise me that I wouldn't walk back. Like I shared a picture of us doing See America yesterday. Real life. Computer just plopped on this tiny little piece of, countertop next to the dirty dishes, next to the coffee pot, and a bunch of shoes on the floor. And the number of people that were so upset that our shoes were so disorganized was really shocking to me, but also I think that speaks to a stronger narrative that we need to have where that's just real life.
They also couldn't see the 2 other bins of shoes.
That
They're not in that photo.
that are hiding under the couch. And I'm not, I think that I appreciate and I want to celebrate and say thank you to everyone who continues to just show us that it's okay to be who we are. And there's a lot of those brave people out there that I have learned from. And so I'm excited about these new RV content creators that are out there. And I'm excited for the freedom that they are giving me to just be who I am. Sing-songy voice and all.
Stop being a Valley girl, Abby. You sound
Can't
so
help it.
much
I was
like a
raised in
Valley
Missouri.
girl.
What do you want from me? All right,
The
Jay.
big valley of the Valley of Missouri.
The Valley of Missouri. It's all good. It's all good at the end of the day. I'm happy. We're healthy. It's all good. Jason, what is your black tank this week?
Aldi generic Reese's
Oh,
Puffs.
no!
And we're just gonna leave it at that.
Wow.
We're gonna give Aldi
Oh.
a fresh tank. Well, kind of not a fresh tank, black tank. You gave them. They got 2
Yes.
black tanks. One
They
of them
got-
a good black tank, and one of them bad tank. All these generic Reese's Puffs. Don't do it. Don't do it.
This is really funny because you
Don't do
didn't
it.
know that's what I was black tanking because
No.
I didn't write anything down.
I didn't.
So I had no idea you were going at Aldi. You had no idea I was going at Aldi.
There's no substitute for the real Reese's Puffs.
Oh,
just like
Oh no.
don't you come at me with your generic Pop-Tarts with no frosting ever again.
Jason, we have been married for 12 years. When are you going to let that go?
Never.
I did it one time and I will never
Probably
do
just shouldn't buy Pop-Tarts, but that's besides the point. Not
Right.
that you do buy
Well,
Pop-Tarts
honey,
ever anymore.
We're too busy buying 430 calorie per
Jeez, I-
slice
my
cheesecake.
palate has sophisticated
You're welcome.
to the cheesecake, which is so much worse for me.
All right, what is your fresh take this week?
Did you know that RVs used to travel up and down the Mississippi River on barges?
I didn't, and
They had barge excursions, specifically RVs. For RVs, you would take your RV out on this barge, and you would camp on the barge as it toured the Mississippi River. I
Oh.
think that's amazing.
Wait, I'm sorry. I thought you were just talking about being shipped to
No,
like a
no,
dealer.
no. You
Oh.
would camp on a barge on the Mississippi River.
Oh, wow.
And apparently this was a really
Oh.
big deal for several decades until the Coast Guard changed some rules that made it harder for them to do this.
Uh-oh.
Having to do with, multiple exits and railings and stuff like that. But it used to be a big deal that they had these big cruises that went up and down the Mississippi. I heard about this through a Facebook group somewhere.
Oh,
And
this
I
is-
think that's so amazing.
this is such a Jason Epperson thing. You
I would do that.
genuinely love anything that has to do with the Mississippi
I do.
River. You really, really do.
I do.
You could not pay me to put my RV on a barge.
You-
I'm
if you
sorry,
just,
babe.
just like one of
No.
those one of those
No.
fancy European river cruises. You stop and then you go
But-
visit Hannibal, Missouri,
Honey,
and then you get back on and then you go to the next town.
the difference between Viking river cruises and this is you're asking me to put my RV on a barge.
Yes, they're
And
stable.
a Viking river cruise has a dining
Actually,
car
a
where
lot of the-
someone's going to serve me dinner.
A lot of the posts, a lot of the comments on this post that I read were like, "I live on the Mississippi, and I see barges running through the banks all the time. I would never put my RV on that."
There's so many things that could go wrong, and I can't. I'll take my European river cruise over a RV on a barge. That's such an American equivalent of a Viking river cruise.
Isn't it though? They're
An
supposed to be
RV on
they-
a barge on the Mississippi.
Well, obviously we used to have paddle boat
Europe.
cruises up and down the Mississippi, but there is talk of bringing something similar to. I actually think Viking is
Yes,
doing it,
they are.
bringing a riverboat cruise to America and
Yeah.
specifically to the Mississippi, which could be kind of cool.
Oh, I'll be there for that one.
Yeah.
I just won't be on a barge.
All right, let's wrap this episode up with the brain teaser. Decapitate me. Start off with decapitation.
Jason.
But I promise it's not actually a person. I'll just give you that hint for the answer.
Okay.
Decapitate me and all becomes equal. Then truncate me and I become second. Cut me front and back and I become two less than I started. What am I? We'll have the answer to that and a whole lot more on next week's episode of the RV Miles podcast.
Yes, we will. And hey, if you're enjoying RV Miles, then you probably know the drill. We would really appreciate it if you would just fly on over to Apple Podcast and leave us a 5-star review. Your review, I'm not kidding, is helping to put RV Miles in front of thousands of new listeners. So thank you very much to all of you who have gone over there and done that. If you would like to connect with Jason and I, please head over to the RV Miles Facebook group. We try to check in there every single day, but hey, you don't have to connect with us over there. You can connect with the over 7,000 other RVers who are there, and they are some pretty cool cats. If you have a suggestion for a future topic, or you have a question that you'd like to see if we could answer, or maybe people smarter than us could answer, just give us an email at editor@rvmiles.com. Until then, please be well, enjoy the spring season, and keep logging those RV miles.
Bye, everybody.